Well, hello there, fellow geeks and geekettes, and welcome to yet another video. I've got a question for you, a couple of them actually. First, I'd like to summarize a couple of facts. So we know that DC Comics has made the son of Kal-El, Jonathan Kent, the new Superman. And we know that they made him bisexual. We know that they made him an activist, and that instead of fighting monsters and fighting villains and flying and punching the baddies, he's walking around with signs trying to play Greenpeace instead of actually trying to do something about it using his superpowers. And DC Comics has, in this way, write itself into a corner from which they can't escape. Unless they did one thing. And I want you to tell me in the comments down below what that thing is. But first, what can they do now? Can they actually put Jonathan Kent into a real fight with a baddie, with a villain? Can they? Can they make a baddie beat Jonathan Kent up like Kal-El has been many times before, despite his superpowers? Like he was killed in the 90s by Doomsday. Like his ass got kicked by the Batman a couple of times, several times. No, they of course can't. Because this would be viewed as an attack on minorities or on marginalized groups. Because you can't hurt bisexual people or gays in comic books. Because that would make you a bigot. That would make you a sort of ist. So what can they do? Can they change him back into a heterosexual? No way, Jose, because that would cause an uproar among the leftists. Can they actually make him date girls again, since he is a bisexual? So he dates men and women. And by the way, does this not imply that he believes that there are only two genders and two sexes? Why is he not pansexual then? Interesting, DC, isn't it? So can they make him go back to girls? No. No, because in comic books, in the modern entertainment in 2021 in the West, once you go gay or bi, you can never go back. Because once again, it would cause an uproar among the lefties. So what can they do? Can they actually write an interesting and intriguing story about Jonathan Kent? No. Because that would include, or that would have to include, the hero going through trials and tribulations and suffering and some problems, serious problems. That would have to mean that we have to show some flaws, some weaknesses of the superhero, because good storytelling is about this. The ancient Greeks were talking about it, the theory of catharsis. The hero needs to go through suffering, through trials and tribulations, so that the audience can identify with the hero and be cleansed by this catharsis. Well, we can't do that, or they can't do that, can they? Because you can't do any of these things to a bi character or a gay character. Because once again, that would cause an uproar among the lefties. And they would call DC Comics a bunch of bigots. But they are, of course, not a bunch of bigots, right? Who has left DC Comics? Everybody normal. And who has been left within DC Comics? Well, Jim Lee and a couple of activists. So that is very interesting right there. So there is only one way how to make things right and how to give Superman at least a part of his former glory back. And I will give you a little hint, although I think that you know already. It will not be about Jonathan Kent. Somebody else needs to come back. And you, please, just let me know in the comments down below what you think or know who it is. And that'll be all. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, read the old comics. Read the good old stuff from way back then, when storytelling mattered, when art mattered, when comics mattered. Goodbye.